Yeah.
No, you're sick. I appreciate you playing injured.
I'll do what I need to for the team.
Yeah, you're Janai
I'm a
Broom
team guy.
I'm
a we guy, not a me guy.
Yeah, definitely, totally. That's why you're a dragon on days like today.
Damn right.
Welcome to the Flaming Dragon Friday. Great start, guys. Great start. Hey, at least we're not live.
Strike one.
The Friday edition of Crain and Company. Appreciate you guys being here and checking us out, whether that be on audio, whether that be on video. Make sure you're liked and subscribed. Flaming Dragon. Not going to call you by your government name today.
Yeah.
Tell the good people of America and beyond how the chat works.
Chat, what is up on this Flaming Dragon Friday? If you're in here, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. And if you donate and it's on topic, it'll immediately get read. Immediately. If you donate at all, it is going to get read at the end of the show. We're going to have multiple polls today where you get to decide the winner. The first poll is, does Auburn have a chance against Florida? Or am I going to get hurt again? Yes or no? So,
of course they have a chance.
What's going on with you,
Win. We are taking your call-ins today at 1-855-236-3228 at 3:30 Eastern Time on the Hot Take Hotline. Get those calls in. Get them in.
All right, gentlemen, it's time. One more sleep until the Final Four. We give you our Final Four predictions. Chris Beard decides to stay in Oxford after being courted by Texas A&M. And it's time for the best bets in the business at the end of the show. Locks, leans, and dogs. Make sure you're locked in here in Crain and Company. Only one more sleep left until we kick off the Final Four, which in my opinion is setting up to be the best Final Four of my lifetime. And it's not just because we have 4 number 1 overall seeds, but all of them are strong enough to actually win the national championship. And to be honest, going back and looking at all the previous Final Fours, or most of them, I cannot find another time, at least since the Ken Pom era, where all 4 teams rank so high. Yes, there's no Cinderellas, but there are plenty of stars that are going to be out this weekend. You look at Walter Clayton from Florida. You look at Janai Broom from Auburn. Cooper Flagg from Duke. We have some up-and-coming great young coaches with Todd Golden and John Shire, and some wily old vets that are looking for their first natty, and Bruce Pearl at Auburn and Kelvin Sampson at Houston. So regardless of who you root for, or if you have no rooting interest in the game outside of maybe a bet, this could be setting up to be the greatest Final Four that we have ever seen, and I am so here for it. Coney, the matchups, we've broken them down, we've previewed them, we've had analysts on, we've had coaches on. Right now, question 1, do you think this could be the greatest Final Four ever? And then B, how do you see this playing out, man?
It sure has been a fun tournament. And when you talk about 4 number 1 seeds advancing to the Final Four for only the second time ever, yeah, I think we're going to see some fireworks. I'm excited to see how Houston can play Duke. I mean, with the defense they have, with holding Tennessee to 15 points, what's best for David Cone financially is if Florida beats Duke in the national championship.
How much are we talking here, Dave?
Talking about 800 bones.
Can you split your boy off some?
Huh?
Split your boy off some?
Florida beats Houston in the national championship. It's something like 350.
So you need Florida.
Just Florida. You need Florida to win.
So I hate you.
But also, Bruce Pearl is a friend of the show. He's coming on doing interviews. He's not mad at us. We feel good about that. Maybe it's best long-term if Auburn wins this thing. But on a serious note, the spidey senses are starting to tingle about Auburn over Florida. I don't know about Duke. I don't know about the national championship, but the way Florida's been playing in the tournament, there is a little bit of is Auburn kind of a team of destiny? Janai Broom. My question is, will Janai Broom have to leave the game against Florida at all because of the injury?
Man, I really hope not. I hope nobody gets hurt in the game. I hope that the best players play the best, and obviously, selfishly, I hope Auburn wins the game. But I want to see, and this is where I think I differ with some fans. Some fans are like, oh, their best player's hurt, that's great. If we're going to win it, I want us to win it beating everybody at full strength. I don't want Cooper Flagg to go down against Houston and then Auburn beat Duke and people be able to have the caveat of, Cooper Flagg did. I don't want the built-in excuse. I want to beat you when you're at your best. And just as a competitor, like we all are, like you guys are out there in the audience. I think that's the way it needs to be. And also, I need to make sure, before we get your take, Flaming Dragon.
What's up?
That we let everybody know who's sitting to my right today. And Shapiro talked about it too. Go ahead and play it so we know who's sitting to my right today.
This is Flaming Dragon!
What's the number?
I am Dragon. I'm not afraid anymore. The number's 1.5.
The number's 1.5.
Number's 1.5.
So we can use your government name one time. But somebody else who apparently just learned about this Flaming Dragon Friday thing is Ben Shapiro. Let's go ahead and play this. I believe this is from his All Access. Let's play it.
What do I think of Blaine Crain calling himself Flaming Dragon every Friday? I didn't know that Blaine does that. That's the most Blaine thing I've ever heard.
You're damn right.
I don't know what that means.
Well, Ben, been doing it for a couple years now. We've been locked in. So I'm glad you finally know. And I just want you to know you're welcomed to the club. Red carpet. Come be a dragon with the boys.
You want to be dragons with Ben?
Ben Dragon, Blaine Dragon.
2 dragons?
I mean, 2 dragons to run the Daily Wire. Let's be honest here. I don't know if there's a better fit.
Ben,
so walk on down, Ben. Walk on down.
Well, we all know what happened to
Come on back down,
Landing.
Benny. You're safe here. Trust tree. You're safe in here.
Well, okay, Dragon.
Yeah.
How do you see the Final Four going? Hey, listen, I want honest take. I don't want hopes and dreams.
Honesty hour.
Or wishes.
Yeah.
It's honesty hour.
Well,
man.
every person we talk to, whether it's Fanta or just anybody, the Duke's the best thing since they invented water, right?
They invented it?
Duke is the Lord invented water. We'll be honest about it. But Duke's the best thing to walk on a court since God, I don't know when. And I'm so sick of hearing it. I'm so sick of hearing about Duke's better than this. Duke's better than that. They're going to kill everybody. They're just the best team. I'm just telling you. Houston, junkyard dogs. Junkyard dogs, all 6'5", 6'8", don't care about your well-being. You wake up, right when you get up out of a nice sleep, the hand's already in your face. So I'm just telling you, I'm sick of the Duke hype.
Are you taking Houston?
I'm sick of in that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, Houston money line.
You're taking Houston money line.
Etch it into the pyramids in Egypt. Ooh. Houston money line, because that Duke this, Duke that, that's fine. And I will say this, usually Duke's easy to hate. They're easy to hate just because Coach K, it's the way they are. I don't think this Duke's as hateable as a team, but I still hate them.
They really don't have a guy with like that punchable face that we've seen in the past. Like Grayson Allen, some of those other guys. I mean, even J.J. Redick. I love me some J.J. Redick. Like J.J. Redick back in the day, like people hated. Oh boy, this Duke team is a little bit more likable. I agree with you there. But let me tell you why Duke's the best team in the Final Four.
Yeah, here we go.
My pick to win it is Duke, right? Just taking all bias aside. I know they're the betting favorites, I believe. But I think it's going to be Auburn and Duke in the Natty. I'm with you. I'm starting to feel better about this Auburn-Florida game. I just look at Duke, and if they're able to beat Houston, which again is an if. The spread is only 5.5. Let's not act like it's 9.5. But if Duke is able to get by Houston, they have shown you they can beat any type of team. Any type of team. Not that Auburn hasn't, but I mean, Duke locked up Bama so they can win the game, defensively shutting down a high-powered offense.
Has Duke seen a team?
That's what I'm saying.
Every
that's my
superhero
point.
has their kryptonite.
Like, who has Duke played that is like Houston, that is just built on grit? Junkyard dog's a great way to put it. And I will say, if you're Houston, it's a race to game pressure. Because they're a younger team, Duke is. Mm-hmm. They haven't felt a lot of game pressure this year. So can you get to 5 minutes with being down 5 or less? Or maybe tied or maybe even up? It's going to be hard for me to not pick Duke here, but I think we see Auburn and Duke in the national championship game. And again, I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like Duke's the best team right now. And I think Shire, Cone, I was talking on the radio this morning, and I was asked, which coach, if there was one offensive possession left, if you had one offensive possession left, which coach would you go with? And to me, I went with Shire because I think what makes Duke so good is that it's not just, the plays that they draw up. And when a play works perfect, yeah, that's great. But it seems like multiple Duke players make the right decision when the perfect result to a play isn't there, right? If somebody who typically goes under a screen goes over a screen, it's almost like an RPO game. It seems like Duke always makes the right decision when it comes down to that, which to me is coaching.
Yes, and it's easier to coach when you have some of the best players in the country, and you're the tallest team in the country.
100%.
How are you guys going to feel if Auburn makes the national championship?
I feel great.
Can we get through this?
I'm done being afraid.
Okay.
I said before this tournament started, that's why I picked Auburn to win it all. I'm done walking in. I'm done tippy-toeing into tournament.
You're 10 toes down.
I've been 10 toes down because the way Auburn's built.
Can the podcast handle a Michigan football championship and an Auburn basketball championship?
I'll cry live on the podcast.
Back-to-back years.
I will
That's
ball
what we're talking
like
about. Like, I mean, we're going to do a live reaction after the Auburn-Florida game on this channel. And, like, if we do a live reaction, I'm telling you right now, if Auburn wins the national championship in basketball, the live reaction show after that, it's all emotions are available. All emotions are available. It's rated E for everyone from an emotional standpoint. Because at that point, I'm good, dude. Beam me up, Scotty, when it comes to Auburn sports. I'd have seen us win a natty in football and then win one in basketball. Man, I never, David, I'll be elated. I'll be the happiest person on ball. Just unbelievably.
That's the only thing Viola will know.
And doesn't that automatically make my 3-month-old daughter an Auburn fan then?
She's going to start liking elephants just like my kid.
Oh, don't.
There's
That
a whole
believe
elephant
me,
propaganda.
That propaganda mission. My wife put her in an Alabama shirt today. Auburn's going into the Final Four. She put her in a Bama shirt today. That's tough. The type warfare that we're fighting at my house.
That was tough.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the chat.
All right, chat. Make sure you hit that like, you hit that subscribe button. Let's start with a $5 donation from JM. Appreciate it, brother. Because what's up, gents? Long due, War Damn Eagle from Hawaii. Saw on X, UF is 24-0 when Aberdeen hits a 3 and 25-0 if they're leading in half. AU will break this streak. Hashtag not afraid.
Well, that makes the game plan easy. Be up at halftime and don't let Aberdeen make a 3 or you're in trouble. Look, and everybody's talking about the superstars in this game, and I get it. Janai Broom, Walter Clayton. But to me, it's the guys on the periphery. Like, where's Will Richard been for Florida? He shows up, you're in trouble. Miles Kelly, outside of the first 8 minutes against Alabama State, really hasn't put up big numbers. Chad Baker-Mazara either. I know he scored 17.
I don't think Auburn's played their best game in the tournament.
I don't think they have either, and I don't think Florida's played their best game in the tournament.
Let's go to a $5 donation from the Maddening Purist. What's up, man? He says, Duke's got talent, but Houston's got toughness. Who's actually the better team?
That's the beautiful part about this. We're going to find out. This is one of those games that's so fascinating because they're so different. Like, they're so different. Not that Duke is soft or that, like, Houston can't shoot. They're just the ideologies of both these teams are so different, but that's what makes it fun.
$10 donation from Dan the Man. Appreciate it. It says, guys, is it just me or is everyone thinks Florida is a little bit underrated now? The way they got talked to after the season, they were the best team, but now with a couple scares, nobody's giving them enough credit.
Well, Cone, how many times have we said Florida got a scare, like they're going to play their best game the next game, and then they didn't?
Yeah. Which, I mean, they were on an absolute heater towards the end of the year and throughout the SEC tournament. And it wasn't that surprising that UConn plays you tough. UConn back-to-back champs, you know what you're going to get. So that game being tight was one thing, but they really haven't looked like the Florida team that ran through the SEC conference tournament. I just wonder, a couple days off here, if, we get back to that Florida team that looked unstoppable.
That's the thing about the week off. Like, anything could happen.
You can reset.
You could reset, and that could be good or that could be bad, depending on how you're playing.
All right, let's go to Tyrone. Tyrone, what is up? Duke wins it all. They clear everybody by a mile, and trust me, I hate Duke. They're the Ohio State of basketball this year.
We'll see. They're the odds-on favorite. That's who everybody's picking. But I'll tell you who the odds-on favorite for you should be if you have a business. And that's our friends over at Shopify. Now, look, we can talk about what you're selling or what market you're in, but more times than not is the business that is powering the business, that's behind the business, that helps put you in the best situation possible, like Gymshark or Cotopaxi. Because like I said, it's not just about having a great product or cool marketing. It's about the people behind the scenes, and Shopify makes every sale seamless and simple. And when you hear this noise, that button on there, go ahead and hit that, David. That just means you're making more money, all right? You want to have the best team around you. You're the head coach of your business, all right? You got to make sure your coordinator hires are good. Your assistant hires are good. Heck, the water boy has to be good. How do you think SCLSU blew up so quick? So if you're serious about growing your business, you need to be everywhere your customers are, whether they're scrolling through their phone or strolling past your storefront, on the web, social feeds, physical stores, or whatever. And you need to upgrade your business and get the same checkout companies like Gymshark and Cotopaxi use with Shopify. And when you sign up for your $1 per month trial. That's $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Crain. That's all lowercase. Shopify.com/CRAIN to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Crain. All right, Coney, let's move it on here on this.
All right, boys, let's talk about a little college football here. The NCAA has denied the request from Deion Sanders and Fran Brown for Colorado and Syracuse to have a joint spring game scrimmage. And then Fran Brown went on to say if Bill O'Brien and Bill Belichick came up with this idea that the NCAA would have greenlit it. I don't know what he's talking about.
Because they're white?
He didn't specifically say it. I guess that's what he's insinuating. I don't think he saw the way the NCAA treated Jim Harbaugh when he was in college. Yeah. But the NCAA wasn't going to let anyone come up with this idea. You've been calling for this for a long time, for spring game scrimmages.
3 years.
Now, how can the NCAA actually tell Colorado and Syracuse that they can't have a joint practice?
Well, like my thing is, and Mike Gundy said this, but we've said this a million times. I mean, what is the NCAA going to do? Y'all have no power. You're like a fat rent-a-cop. You ain't catching that kid. Like, you got no power.
But if they told them they can't do it and now they're not doing it,
well, to me, like,
stopped them from doing it.
It's the same thing when Penny Hardaway was like, "Oh no, I'm not suspended. I'm just not going to be suspended," and like they didn't end Memphis's program. Like, to me, again, what would be the punishment? Like, what would be the punishment? Like, this isn't we caught you cheating and now you're going to have to, you did the crime, you're going to serve the time. Nobody gets hurt in this. Now, as far as the racism angle goes, the NCAA is not racist. They suck to everybody, like, pretty much. Like, the only favoritism I would see with NCAA is for the big brands. Like, when the Duke players weren't going to class, they didn't get in any trouble. Like, if you're in basketball, like, at the end of the day, the NCAA is an equal opportunity hater, that they suck to everybody. But I'm just like...
So let's go through these 3 reasons that the FBS Oversight Committee cited for opposing the waiver. First one, the late timing, as most teams have planned out spring practice and in some cases concluded their sessions. What does that matter?
You didn't come up with a great idea. So, like, what? That's not how this works.
That one to me is irrelevant. The second one is more valid. Let's check it out. A recruiting advantage Colorado and Syracuse would receive that other teams couldn't hold a similar scrimmage this spring, but kind of the same point you're making. Then why didn't they think about doing it?
Like, then they should have, whoever decided the idea to, like, tag a weekend, like Auburn does Big Cat Weekend, where they're, like, bringing all their big recruits at the same time. Well, whatever school came up with that idea first, that's an unfair advantage. It's an idea, and it's a great idea. And you're not breaking any rules just because other people didn't think of it. That sucks, too.
Also, what's the thinking with it being a recruiting advantage? Just because it would be televised and...
They've put Alabama's spring game on ESPN for the last 30 years.
True. Yeah.
Like, no, it's what's the last one?
And a potential the academic impact for athletes missing classes.
Yeah, there it is.
Don't make me laugh.
So what's the difference between the missing class for an inter-squad spring game and
stop asking questions that make sense.
I'm telling you, these people are the dumbest. Like, again, if you're the NCAA and you're losing all your power in college football, and I think soon to be college basketball, you're going to die on this hill? This isn't something where you're like, you know what, guys, great idea. Y'all should start doing this.
Why don't we ever hear that from the NCAA?
We never hear that from the
NCAA. Nice, inventive idea to try and help the sport. Way to think outside the box.
Innovation and the NCAA just don't go.
Well, this is from someone who I don't necessarily even want to see this. I want to see Syracuse hold their own spring game so Syracuse fans can go to it. I'm assuming that this would have been in Boulder, Colorado, because Deion said it first. And it would be televised and all that. I want to see each team have their spring game still so people from the local community can go out. But I don't think the NCAA has given valid reasons for shutting it down. Or, to your point, what are the repercussions if Colorado and Syracuse just decide to do it?
What are they going to do? Put them on
you enforce it?
Yeah, I mean, again, at the end of the day, in my mind, I'm like, okay, obviously somebody in NCAA has PR people, and they've got to know they're just getting hammered. Like, every day. They're the least popular person at the party. So, again, you would think that would lend to being like, hey, and it's not even letting something slide. It's being like, guys, great idea. Go ahead and do it. We're not going to sit here. I just find this as such an odd way to try and show that you're big and bad. I mean, again, what do you expect? I mean, they had to be basically pushed off a cliff to stop letting dudes play in women's sports in the NCAA, so I don't think they're exactly the smartest people in the world. But I don't get it.
So the NCAA has regulations on official team activities, including what counts as permissible promotions, recruiting events, or NIL involvements during sanctioned practices or games like the spring game.
But again, what would be the penalty? So you mean to tell me that Deion Sanders, who's one of the most popular people in college football, lightning rod, great publicity for the sport, right? Huge moneymaker for the sport, brought a program back from the dead. What are they going to do? Bowl ban Deion Sanders in Colorado this year? Because you can't just punish Syracuse if this happened. It's like, what are you going to do? Deion Sanders is more important to college football than any of the suits at NCAA.
Have they tried tariffs yet? I think somehow
you're going to do it.
Tariffs being applied could work. Next one up, TJ Finley, who's played quarterback. Is he on his 5th school now?
Yeah, I feel like TJ's 40.
Van Wilder route, but he just goes to a different school.
What happened with this?
So it was announced that TJ Finley had been arrested for stealing something worth more than $25,000. And that's kind of all you heard. But then his attorney came out and said, this was a fake. And again, you can see both sides of this. I'm not drawing conclusions, whatever. I'll leave that up to the courts. But it was a Facebook Marketplace scam where somebody pretending to be somebody else and owning an LLC sold TJ Finley, and this is allegedly, a truck for $25,000 that had what looked like a legit title and a legit bill of sale, so TJ Finley bought the truck. Well, it turns out the truck was reported stolen, and when they found the truck, TJ Finley had it. So that's where it's at right now to me. I hope personally that TJ Finley didn't steal the truck. That makes sense to me. My wife sells stuff on Facebook Marketplace. We're selling a piano right now from her mom's old house, and there's already been 3 scammers trying to find a way to do that. So nothing would surprise me on Facebook Marketplace. I hope it's not true. We'll see. It's just a tough situation. This is why, if it turns out that it was a scam, you don't just instantly jump to a conclusion of, well, this person definitely did it.
Just stop buying vehicles on Facebook Marketplace.
It's a great deal, though.
It's just, that place is just basically it's a scam. That's just where the scammers live.
If the deal sounds too good to be true,
it is.
It is not.
Yeah.
It may not be.
Well, there's always that one.
All right, next one up. Chris Beard is going to stay at Ole Miss, or at least that's what we've heard so far, right?
Yeah, and I put out a video on social media right after this. I think this was the best day, the other day, when he decided not to go to A&M, which that A&M coaching search is going to be really interesting. I've heard a few candidates' names. But I thought when Chris Beard announced he was staying at Ole Miss, it was the greatest day in Ole Miss basketball history. Because think what you want about Chris Beard and the off-the-court stuff, okay? Think what you want about that. But when it comes down to coaching college basketball, Chris Beard is a top 5 coach in the sport. Look what he's already done at Ole Miss. I mean, Ole Miss was a whisker away from going to play Auburn in the Elite Eight. They'd never been to the Elite Eight before and really controlled most of that game. But the most important thing about this to me isn't the X's and O's that Chris Beard brings. It's the recruiting. Because now, whether it's transfer portal guys, whether it's guys out of high school, Chris Beard has proven he wants to stay at Ole Miss. What was the negative line that everybody was using against Chris Beard?
Everyone will pull him away.
Yeah, he's going to be gone. First chance he gets to go run. Not that A&M is this basketball behemoth, but they got a lot of money.
Goes Ole Miss.
They ain't broke. They ain't got that oil money. They ain't got that there will be blood money. It's like that's Landman versus, I'm not going to say the other one, but I think you could take a guess. It's huge to take away that negative recruiting aspect. And I really think, and I want your guys' opinion on this, Ole Miss hired Chris Beard at his lowest point.
True.
And I know what Chris Beard and Bruce Pearl were accused of was totally different. And I do want to throw that out there. But there's something to be said when it comes down to loyalty. Of Ole Miss took a chance on Chris Beard when nobody else wanted to touch him. And it's not like you went to McNeese State like Will Wade did. And Chris Beard said, you know what? You guys gave me a shot. I'm building this thing up. I'm going to be loved here. I'm staying here. I think that had to have something to do with it, right?
Okay, so it sounds like Ole Miss and Chris Beard are now in talks to sign a new 6-year deal.
Yep.
We'll keep him there for 6 years. Do you think Chris Beard could do with Ole Miss what Bruce Pearl has done with Auburn?
I don't know. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, especially now with NIL, if you have money and the resources, you can do a lot. I think that's a big push. I would throw Nate Oates in there at Alabama, too. Like, can Chris Beard do what Bruce Pearl did at Auburn and what Nate Oates has done at Alabama? It's going to be tough, but if anybody can do it, it's this guy, man. Look what he's already done.
I think Ole Miss has the money to do it as well. Like, what a lot of people don't realize, like, when it comes to these SEC schools, y'all think it's just football, like, that they care about. Like, I promise you, I was at that Sweet 16 game, and Ole Miss, from a fan base standpoint, showed out. It was Ole Miss and Auburn. I've never seen so many Ole Miss fans packed out. Ole Miss wants to be good at basketball.
Do you think it would have been that same? Do you think it would have been the same, though, if that game was played in Detroit? Because, I mean, the game was played in Atlanta, which is a short drive from Auburn, a short drive from Oxford, pretty daggone far away from East Lansing and Ann Arbor. If that game was played in Detroit, I wonder how many Ole Miss fans would show up.
I think Ole Miss travels. I think Michigan travels. Michigan traveled well. They had a bunch of fans there.
Well, there's something to the newness, too, though.
That's another good point, too. It's like you might have some Kansas fans who say, call me when it's the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to the Sweet 16. Ole Miss is jumping at an opportunity. Hey, we might not get past the Sweet 16. Let's go to that tournament. But then on the flip side of that, some of these programs, when you talk about like Villanova or UConn, well, that's your biggest thing. March, you got to go to the tournament.
For
right?
sure.
You don't have much else outside of that.
Well, it's like when Auburn went to the NCAA, started going to the NCAA tournaments with Bruce Pearl. People were like, oh, my God, like, we never thought this would happen again. Like he said, they treated the first round like it was the Final Four. And then all of a sudden, you go on that run in 2019 and make the Final Four? Dude, they could have played that game on Mars, and Auburn fans would have got on the space shuttle to go see it. I tell you, man, Ole Miss can get hot, dude. Like, to Flaming Dragon's point, like, the "it just means more" slogan, it isn't just for football. Now, you got to give them something. Like, you got to start winning. Like, if you watch some of the Georgia games this year at home, at Georgia, when they were ranked, bro, that place, Stegman was absolutely bouncing, man. Absolutely bouncing. And you use the football program to, like, help that platform. And I think that's what Bruce Pearl did a good job of. I think Nate Oates did a good job of that. And I'm sure Chris Beard will as well. So, all right, Coney, what are the phone lines? Are they open yet, or how?
I heard they're open now. 1-855-236-3228. Call in. I want to hear from Auburn fans, Duke fans, Houston fans, Florida fans, just not Braves fans. Maybe Braves fans. Maybe they need.
Don't know Aaron Judge has more RBIs than the entire Braves.
Hey, chill out.
I'm just saying.
Do you know I hate
the first week of baseball?
Shout out to Mafia.
We got the Marlins tonight. Don't worry, guys.
Favorite tonight.
Favorite. We'll see with Loxleans and Dogs. We'll see. All right, let's get to the chat.
All right, let's go to a $10 donation from the Rebel Hoops Fanatic. What's up, man? With Chris Beard saying Ole Miss despite Texas A&M's interest, what does this mean for the Rebels' future, and are we buying their stock?
I'm buying their stock, and I mean, I thought we just gave you a great dissertation on what that means for Ole Miss's future. Ole Miss, being a problem in college basketball, is here to stay as long as the bearded wonder that they call Chris stays in Oxford.
$5 donation from the Wicked Brew. What's up, brother? With Beard staying in Oxford, hot take. If he stays 5 years, Rebs win a natty before Oates does at Alabama.
Okay, let's slow down a little bit.
I love it. Just hit the gas pedal. Scream America.
I'm all for going all in. I get it. Shoot your shot, right? It's a fun time right now. Nate Oates has Alabama in a different place right now. Nate Oates has Alabama in a place that Chris Beard wants to go. Like, so I wouldn't take that bet, but I'm guessing you're an Ole Miss fan, and I'm glad you're excited about college basketball.
Let's go to a $5 donation from the Finn. What's up, man? He says, I'll never understand this. Could have been the most watched spring game ever, and they said no. Do they want to lose the next generation of fans?
That's what, if somebody can explain to me why this was a good idea to say no to, I would love to hear it in the chat or on the phone lines. I'd love to hear it, because I don't think it exists.
Let's go to a $10 donation from the Prime. What's up, man? He says, wait. The NCAA will let collectors pay $2 million for a quarterback, but won't let two schools play a spring scrimmage. Make it make sense, please.
The dam will break, though. The dam will break. Now that this momentum has gotten started, I think we'll see it as early as next spring.
I don't think that's crazy at all.
All right, let's go to a $20 donation from the rule book. Appreciate it. This is a little bit off topic, fellas. I know y'all hit it earlier, but what's your thoughts on Janai Broom's injury?
Well, listen, you stop being 100% after you're born. I believe in that. Like, nobody's 100% after you take your first breath. Janai's been beat up. He's played beat up. I think he's going to power through it. I thought Cone brought up a great point. If he does have to miss some time during the game, when is it in the game and how long is it? And is Bruce Pearl going to adjust his rotations? I don't think he will, but to try and save Janai as much as possible, because I'm not as worried on the offensive side for Janai Broom. I'm worried about defense, because you know what offensive guys do when they know the 3-tech sprained his ankle and he's trying to play through it? They run the ball right at his ass, right? Linebacker's got a cast on his hand and his name's not Patrick Willis. Speaking of Ole Miss, they're going to run it right at him. If I'm Florida, I am sending guys downhill. I'm not talking about just back to the basket, work him down. I'm talking about downhill from the perimeter right at Janai Broom, and we going to find out.
I think it's a good sign that when Michigan State, when Auburn was up enough on Michigan State, in my opinion, even when Janai Broom left the game and then came back and told Coach Pearl, hey, I'm good, I can go in the game. He put him back in the game. I think Auburn was going to win that basketball game either way. Not only does Janai Broom come back in the game, but he hits a three. He's actually contributing to the victory at the end. That's a good sign.
It was such a whirlwind because, like, as an Auburn fan, you have PTSD after the Chuma.
Yeah.
After the Chuma Okeke gets hurt. What was it, Elite Eight?
It was against North Carolina. I think it was in the Sweet 16.
Like, when Janai went out, immediately in my head, I was like, no way. We lose Chuma.
Well,
now we're going to lose Janai.
And it's not like that was the Sweet 16 game. You get a day off and then have to play the Elite Eight game. You got hurt in the Elite Eight game, then you had a week, which the timing is huge as well to be able to rest that thing up. And Bruce Pearl said he was good to go today. All right, one more.
All right, let's go to a $1.99 donation from the Buffs coordinator. What's up, man? So if Bama, Georgia wanted to do this, would the NCAA actually block it too? Or is it just when Coach Prime's involved?
See, like, if it was Syracuse and Boston College that did it and it got blocked, I can see where you're going with it. But this is like, Deion Sanders is one of the hottest things in college football. Like, I would be willing to bet there will be just as many or more headlines about Deion Sanders in Colorado as there will be Kirby Smart in Georgia this offseason. Like, it's not like, I mean, this guy's at the top of the college football PR totem pole, right? I mean, how many times have we talked about Deion Sanders? Deion Sanders could go, fart in the middle of an intersection and people on ESPN would talk about it for 3 days, which is kudos to him. Like, I don't know if it's a big dog, oh, you're not a big enough dog for this to happen, because that would have been magic. How many people would have watched it?
They were telling Jim Harbaugh he can't have satellite camps around the country. And to the accusation of Bill O'Brien and Bill Belichick, if they wanted to do this, they would have said yes. Really, he should have brought up Nick Saban's name. If you really want to bring up someone who, the NCAA would have just caved immediately and said, Nick Saban, this is a great idea. Maybe you're right, but also I think that Nick Saban and Bill Belichick and Bill O'Brien, all these guys would have done like the due diligence first. Like, Nick Saban would have gone and said, like, hey, is this a thing that we can actually pull off? And if so, what do I have to do before making it public? Yeah. Whereas Deion Sanders was just like, well, I'm just going to do this. We're going to have a spring game, and then retrospectively the NCAA shuts it down, which is still pretty wild to me. I just don't know if it holds water that Bill Belichick could come into college football and immediately.
Well, let me ask you this though. Like, let's say Nick Saban didn't do due diligence on it and just came out and said he wanted to do it. Do you think that, and not because of what, because of like Nick Saban was the biggest dog in the yard in college football? Do you think the NCAA would have told him no? Because Saban would have gone to the press and roasted those kids.
That's why he would have been a better name to bring up in this scenario.
True.
He probably could have gotten away with what he wanted to. But I don't know. The NCAA is just always coming up with reasons they can't. Like, whatever you think the NCAA would go along with, they won't. So I'll still say they would have said the same.
Well, that's why I laugh when they're like, all right, no guidelines for NIL, no guidelines for the transfer portal, but no spring game against another team. You will not. We will not put rules on anything else, but by God, you will not play each other in a spring game. It's just amazing where they draw the line. It's like the person who goes to McDonald's and orders 2 Big Macs, a large fry, but a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Just get the Coke, dog. You're already all in on it anyway. All right, Blade. Oh, God. Okay, that's one.
There's one. Boom.
Okay, that's one.
Relax.
That's one.
What was the line today? You never.
It's
even
1.5. It's 1.5.
Dave, we're on camera.
Did he say it?
It's for
1.5. We're still under
recorded.
it. Lock in. I am one with it. All right, speaking of locking in. All right, before we get to phone lines, 1-855-236-3228. They are open now. We want to hear from you.
Putting it in the chat.
Well, let's go to Locks, Leans, and Dogs for this weekend, fellas.
Lock it up,
This
fellas.
one is multi-sport, okay? Because we do only have 2 games in the Final Four and then obviously the National Championship. So here's what I got. My locks. I'm going to ride with Duke minus 4.5. All right, that's going off at minus 125. I bought it down. It's at 5.5. I think this could be a really close game. Houston could be leading for a while, but I think Duke's free throws, their ability to shoot them at the end gives them a win by 5 or more. And then I'm going to go the over for Auburn and Florida here because I think this game's going overtime.
Wow. Wonder what that bet is.
I think it's going overtime. And it's over 159.5. That's going off at minus 110. I'm thinking the final score here is an 84-82, 84-81 type game. And then my leans. Sorry, Braves. Hashtag not believing. But you can still win with one of my leans. I'm going to take the Marlins. You know it's bad when I'm taking the Marlins. Plus 1.5. That's going off at minus 105 in Atlanta tonight. And I'm going to take the Nerfy also for the Braves Marlins game tonight. That's going off at minus 135. And then my dogs.
What type of dog is that?
That's, he passed away a while ago, and I think we'll all remember him.
You know it's sad.
I'm going to take Houston money line plus 220, then Auburn money line at plus 130. We'll see. We'll see. But that Houston plus 220, Flaming Dragon, I know I got Duke in the locks, but like I can see it. I can see. I may not want to take that path.
Take my hand.
Down to the water, right?
Take my hand.
It's questionable what could happen, but I can see that the path.
The glazing of Duke is uncontrollable.
There's a lot of glazing, but they're basically Krispy Kreme right now. There's a lot of glazing.
Let's get to these locks, boys. I'm going the other way in the Florida-Auburn point total. I'm going under 159.5, minus 110 on the odds. The only thing that worries me there is the overtime that you were talking about. I'm thinking more 79-75 here, something like that. So I'm going under. Give me the Dodgers money line, minus 130. Still undefeated.
You know, the Dodgers are dealing with tariffs right now.
They're dealing with tariffs?
Their entire roster is Japanese.
Give me Dodgers minus a 1.5, actually. That's how confident.
Are they reciprocal?
Okay. Money line, though, minus 130, going on the road to play the Phillies. For my leans, give me Duke minus 5.5, plus 100. Technically, that's a dog bet. I could slide that into the dog category. Look, I want to see it. Let's see. I hope for a great basketball game. Let's see what Houston's got. But right now, I'm leaning Duke minus 5.5. Give me the team total points for Duke over 71.5 as well. That's minus 110. And then my dogs, bark. Auburn money line. Can I ride with you?
Yeah, for me.
Plus 130.
Please, David.
Let's see.
Please.
Let's see, because if Florida wins, I'm good in my survival pool pick'em there. And then Marlins money line, why not? Plus 205 against a team that hasn't even won a baseball game yet in the Braves. I'll ride with the Marlins money line, but my heart will be with Atlanta.
I mean, for Braves fans, y'all really don't like them.
I'm trying
don't like them.
Look,
I really don't like them. Y'all
I'm betting the trend.
Negativity to prop them up.
Yes.
Like you did with your boy. All right?
Yeah.
You tough love.
Positive
You were
boy.
negative. Now he's skinny and a lawyer.
Yep, it works out like that. All right, let's go. Locks. I'm taking 2 women's games under. You know why? Because I want to win money. Easiest bets of my lifetime. South Carolina, Texas, women's under 124.5, minus 110. No way they hit that total. Troy, Buffalo, women under 154.5. There's a rule, all right? If any time a women's game goes over 140, you take the under. All right, and you can have that little piece, that nugget right there. You use that for the rest of your life. All right, leans. UConn, UCLA, women's under 135.5. You see a little bit of a correlation here, boys. And Auburn, plus 3.5. That's going off at minus 125. And for my dogs, Houston money line, junkyard dogs, baby. Hand in the face. Don't believe in all the Duke hype. All right, I'm not hyped about it. Duke this, Duke that. Kelvin Sampson and Houston get it done. Then Phillies money line plus 108. Shout out Ryan Gade.
A resident Phillies fan.
Get excited about it.
I hope it burns down. All right, before we get to the phone lines, let's go back to the chat.
All right, let's go to the only Rebel with the $10 donation. It's like, Jake, you can say that, but Ole Miss's NIL situation is pretty damn good. It almost is at the same height as Texas A&M.
Yeah, I still think it's going to take some time, though. And again, if you're saying, win a natty, Look, and to me, when you have to win a first-round game, a second-round game, a Sweet 16 game, an Elite 8 game, a Final Four game, and then a national championship game, a lot of that has some luck involved in it too. Like, you can be a really good team, but outside of, we've seen UConn, win 2 in a row and be super dominant. Florida did it back in the day with Noah and Al Horford and all them. It's just the odds. That is a very, very difficult. I would say make a Final Four. I would ride with you a little bit on that.
Let's go to I Am a Dreamer. What are the realistic expectations for Ole Miss under Chris Beard? Don't gas me up just to gas me up.
I'm not gassing you up just to gas you up. I'm just telling you what I honestly 100% think. Chris Beard's a real one, dog. I mean, you agree, don't you? I mean, he's one of the best coaches in college basketball.
All right, let's go to a $1.99 donation from LTP. What's up, man? The NCAA just hates Coach Prime and feel like everybody in college football has something against that man, and all he does is win.
Well, I don't think everybody hates Coach Prime. I think Coach Prime's gotten the benefit of the doubt in a lot of ways too, but sometimes it's good when they hate you like this. I think it helps. Like, how many people have probably started to root for Colorado because so many people are negative toward Coach Prime and the way that, the stuff was handled with his son being there. How many people are like, well, when Shadur leaves, Deion Sanders is definitely 100% going to leave. He really doesn't love Colorado. Well, he just signed a big contract to stay there, and his son's leaving. So I think in some ways, yeah, you want people to like you. You wish everybody liked you. That'd be great. I think it kind of helps them that not everybody likes him.
I want to say one more thing about the Chris Beard situation. I don't fault Texas for firing this guy, right? Like, none of us know what the details exactly were to the domestic instance that happened. I think that's a tough situation for Texas to be in, and we've seen that with teams before. Like, who was it? The Chiefs, when they had Kareem Hunt the first time, they draft a guy who leads the NFL in rushing. Texas has Chris Beard. They got things rocking and rolling, and you have to let a guy go based off some of their actions. And then, the second program that comes and swoops that person up is sort of, there's a little bit of, drama at the beginning. It was kind of like what we talked about with Hugh Freeze at Auburn. There were some Auburn fans who didn't want to hire him, but
and look at Will Wade.
Some of it's timing.
Yeah, look at what happened with Will Wade at LSU. Then he goes to McNeese. McNeese, he does really well there. I mean, hell, even the manager, the ball boys, talking about going to the NBA now at McNeese. Then you get hired at NC State. I can promise you this, Will Wade's probably going to do pretty good at NC State too. But speaking about pretty good, I hope we got some pretty good calls today, Dave.
All right, boys, lines are full. Let's get to them. Let's go to Tennyson in Iowa. Tennyson, what's your hot take today?
My hot take is that I really do not care either way about this A&M basketball coaching search. I think it was fine if we took him. I think it was fine if we didn't, because neither Beard or Buzz, honestly, would really be at the top of my list at this point.
Who's at the top of your list? God?
Well, he's always at the top of my list. Maybe not.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer, Tennyson.
But no, I like Huss from High Point. If you can get him, I think he's proved himself. I think that, we've seen time and time again. Nate Oates at Alabama, we've seen examples of coaches that didn't start at Power 5 or Power 4 schools that ended up doing really, really well in the SEC. So I like Huss.
Tennyson, what do you think about Bucky Ball? What do you think about Bucky from Stanford?
So if you go on Twitter, and I don't trust anything with Twitter, but it seems like there's a lot of movement with him lately. Mm-hmm. I think you would bring an exciting style of basketball to A&M. I think you bring something different, and that's always, that difference not ever a bad thing. It's not always a bad thing. At this point, my thing is I love A&M, and if you don't want to be at A&M, let's have a clean break. And honestly, with the Beard stuff, if he didn't come, that's fine. Just get the right guy at this point.
Yeah, I tell you, the three names that you're hearing right now for that job is Bucky from Stanford. And remember, Stanford really should have beat Kansas last year in the tournament, I believe. They got screwed by the refs at the end. Chris Jans from Mississippi State is another name you've heard. And then Chris Mack, who I don't think the Mack one's as serious. I haven't heard the High Point guy yet. I really like him too. I think he'd be a really good fit. Hell, the dude's not that he's going to play, but he's huge too. He's 6'7".
Thanks for calling, Tennyson. Let's get someone new on that line, and we're going to go to Amelia in California. What's going on, Amelia?
Hi. So I wanted to talk about the female fencer who didn't want to fight a guy. Fence a guy.
Oh, yeah. We actually have something coming out on that tomorrow.
Oh, well.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to say how So as a former fencer, I just wanted to say it's interesting, not just because she didn't want to fight him, but because most of the time in practice, women fence guys most of the time. Because most fencing clubs don't have enough women to fence each other. So you're not exclusively females on females, males on males.
Well, Amelia, let me pose two things at you real quick. So are you saying like you were like she should have gone ahead and done it? Keep Amelia on the line with the clock. Are you saying she should have done it, or that you're surprised she didn't just do it?
Well, I think it just speaks to some premeditation on her part in a good way, because you are used to fencing males. Most women are. So you have to know that someone that you're fencing in this tournament is a poser, and you're probably going to be in the position where you're going to have to take a stand if that is important to you. So she probably planned this out. And, you see that when they have someone filming, right? You think something's going to go down. Maybe that's the case, or maybe they're just fencing. They're just filming all the bouts, because that's common too. Yeah. But I just thought that was interesting, because it's not as spontaneous as showing up and oh, hey, this person isn't actually a woman. And we thought it was just women.
Yeah. Well, and again, we have a full thing coming out on this tomorrow, Amelia. You should definitely check it out. Appreciate you bringing it up. I will say just a couple quick things. To me, if it was a co-ed tournament and you knew it was a co-ed tournament going in, and this is a little bit about something you talk about, like co-ed softball, co-ed flag football, but there's typically rules that are built in for the females and the males in those co-ed things to make it more fair. And then on the other side, practicing against males, I've got no problem with, because we see that in women's basketball all the time, because the whole point is they make you better because they're biologically built different than you are. So you're at a disadvantage. So therefore, when you actually play against women, right? And Dawn Staley gave her men's practice squad rings after they won the Natty. It's easier. You make practice harder than the game is easier. I just don't think in a women's competition, men should be in it, especially when you give them swords.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, her name is Stephanie Turner. This girl took a knee instead of fencing the male that was in this female tournament. This was in Maryland. And like you said, we have a whole breakdown on this tomorrow. But one interesting thing was Stephanie Turner, even 12 years ago, didn't even show up to a fencing competition because there was going to be a transgender male in that competition. And so she has a history of this, but this time she took a public.
So, Amelia, we agree with you.
Yeah, we agree with you. I know what you're saying. That's a great call.
Absolutely.
Thanks for calling in. Let's get someone else on that line, and let's go to Solomon in Houston. Solomon, what's your hot take?
A hot take, I think Bruce Pearl needs a statue today in Auburn.
Oh God, that's not a hot. That's just a right take.
Wow. It should have already been built, even with not a national championship.
I think there should be a statue of Bruce Pearl looking at another statue of Bruce Pearl. Like touching fingers.
If I had the money, I'd build one in my house.
Should there be a statue of Janai Broom?
I think so.
Man, we're just handing out statues.
Well, no, I go back to Auburn, this. Charles Barkley has a statue.
So we're just handing them out?
Janai Broom's a better college basketball player than Charles Barkley was at Auburn. So if Charles Barkley gets that statue, then why wouldn't Janai Broom get a statue?
Is Charles Barkley's statue for what he did at Auburn, or is Charles Barkley's statue for what he did in the NBA?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, because they made
I think it's
Solomon
what he did at TNT.
Yeah, well, like Solomon, correct me if I'm wrong, Charles Barkley then made an Elite Eight, right? They made one Elite Eight. And then Charles is like one of the most famous NBA players ever. He obviously helps out a lot at Auburn. And he should have a statue, I get it. But Janai Broom, he needs one. I mean,
Bruce Pearl needs a statue of him looking at Bruce Pearl. So he has two.
Yes.
And Janai Broom needs a statue.
That's exactly
Even if they lose this weekend in the Final Four.
Doesn't matter. Wow. Doesn't matter. 2 in 6 years?
Giving those things out.
Oh, well, we don't have a lot, David. Like, we have no other statues there. In football, it looks like
I heard Chad Baker-Mazara is going to get one.
Let's see how he plays.
No.
You get MVP of the national championship game, I'll go there and chisel it myself.
Well, again, that's a different story. If the team wins, maybe they just make a team statue.
See, now you're thinking.
Full team,
now
Mount Rushmore.
You're thinking.
Chisel them into the plains of Auburn.
I love it.
All right, let's go on to Jonathan in North Carolina. Jonathan, what's your hot take?
Oh, Blue Devils, Blue Devils, Blue Devils, Blue Devils.
No.
So what's going on, guys?
What up?
What's up, man?
On Contrarian over there.
Which one?
I'm so surprised that LeBron fan wouldn't mind hearing about one team over and over again.
Well,
But,
LeBron's played for 9 different teams, so I mean,
I know, and we hear about it all the time.
yeah.
So my take is Cooper Flagg will go down to have the best season of college basketball that anyone has will surpass Carmelo Anthony. And
Carmelo averaged 22 and 10, man.
Winning all.
Let me, where do you put, keep Jonathan online. Jonathan, where do you put Cooper Flagg on the list right now today? I'm not talking about even if they win it. Where do you put him on the list of the best Duke freshmen ever? Is he at the top?
He's definitely at the top. I mean, Zion couldn't do it. Zion could do it. Kyrie got hurt in the half the season. He went half the season. So, yeah, he's going to be the best Duke freshman all time. Probably in the top 5, definitely in the top 5 Duke player of all time.
Wow.
That's high regard. But, Jonathan, I don't think that's crazy, man. I don't think that's a crazy. He just won, and Cooper Flagg won what? AP Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Just announced he won AP Player of the Year. And then Bruce Pearl and Rick Pitino shared AP Coach of the Year, first share in 58 years. Bro, St. John's.
How do you lose to a 10 seed and get?
Yeah, like, wow.
What are we doing?
They vote on that before the tournament?
Look, I don't know.
Who knows?
I love me some Ricky P, but come on, man.
Thanks for calling. Let's get someone on that line, and let's go to Devil Doc in Indiana. What's your hot take, brother?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
What's up, man?
Hey, so first off, just got my camouflage Crain company hat in the mail.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody go buy one. Pepper needs new shorts.
I can't see you.
It is as advertised. It is super cool. So my question is, so obviously everybody's saying that Cooper Flagg is basically a shoo-in for the number 1 lottery pick, basically. Number 1 pick in the draft. Is there anything that you guys could see in the next game or 2 if they win against Houston, or anything up until the draft day that could possibly change that? Because, you know, in football, like, a lot can change. Like, I've seen guys go from, like, 1 to 4 or go from, like, 8 to 1. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that it changes a little more in football, it seems like. But what do you think he could do or do wrong, and would that possibly change his draft stock?
Well, Devil Doc, thanks for the call. Thanks for getting that hat, too. I thought it was really funny when we gave Connor Stallions the camouflage hat.
No one can see him now.
Yeah, nobody can see him now. Your signs are in big trouble. You know, it's so much different than college football and college basketball, because in college football, all we're dealing with is, like, players from the United States. And, like, college basketball, like, is there some 7'7" Frenchman that I don't know about that, like, are, like, some 8-foot-tall German or whatever, like Wembanyama that came out the other day? You're dealing internationally. But right now, I mean, I don't think Cooper Flagg could hurt himself. If he's locked in the number 1 overall pick, I don't see a way in which he would hurt himself other than getting, like, and I'm not saying I hope this happens, like, devastatingly hurt.
Don't put it out there.
Like, I don't, you know, I'm not trying to put that out there. But, yeah, unless there's some European monster that I don't know about yet, I think it's probably going to be Coop.
Yeah, I don't see any Lithuanians on here.
Any Serbs?
Jokic got a brother?
Yeah, I mean, right now it's Cooper Flagg, 2 kids from Rutgers.
Yeah, the Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper.
VJ Edgecombe.
Okay, from Baylor? He's that high?
Kasparis Jackanugas, the kid from Illinois.
Okay.
2 kids from Rutgers?
Bro.
Yeah.
Are expected
Slated
to go in the
top
3?
Bro. Top 5. Yeah, top 3.
Ace Bailey, super athletic, really good player. Dylan Harper.
6'6" guard, 6'10" forward.
Cold. But that's Ron Harper's kid, I think.
That apple didn't fall far.
Cold.
All right, one more call today on this Flaming Dragon Friday, and it's Chris in Georgia. Chris, what's your hot take?
Yo, what's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
All right, I got a couple things. I'm just going to go through them really quick. First of all, I know you guys were talking about movies the other day, and Jake said his favorite movie is The Dark Knight. I have that one number 2, right behind Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Acceptable.
Right, I just watched The Dark Knight again last week. So,
the opening scene in The Dark Knight is cinematic perfection.
It is, yeah, the best opening scene ever, probably. As far as college basketball, I'm excited about these games. I know everyone's freaking out about, you know, all the number 1 seeds being in. I tend to agree with you guys. I think it is better for the sport that all these best teams are in there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I think we're going to see a slight downturn in the number of Cinderellas in the future, but not drastically like everyone's thinking. I think it's just going to be very slight, just due to NIL. But I think we'll still have it, and I think sports is going to be just fine.
Well, Chris,
as far as this weekend,
good.
I got Auburn going all the way. I have since the beginning. But I'm still excited for these games. It's going to be legendary.
It is. Strong, Chris, great call. Here's my question, David and Flaming Dragon. So we talk about Cinderellas. So with NIL, what happens if, like, there's a billionaire that went to, like, Bryant or something like that, and he gives Bryant $50 million to spend on NIL, and they go out and get these great players, and Bryant makes the Elite Eight? Is that a Cinderella?
But that's not happening.
But, like, I'm saying, but there's a possibility of, like...
Cinderella stories suck. Who cares?
Do they?
Yeah, unless you're an 8-year-old girl. I mean, no one cares. Like, I want to see the best play the best. But nothing hurts me about a Cinderella not being in there.
This guy was laughing his butt off when Fairleigh Dickinson upset Purdue in the 16th.
Yeah, laughing's different than caring.
Well, loved it. He loved it.
Well, my point is, like, again, how high of a seed, if Bryant goes undefeated in their conference and they win their conference tournament and they get in, what's the highest seed they're going to get? Like what, a 7? Something like that? Maybe a 6? But still, the name Bryant.
Unless you know in advance that, like, they've Fab Fived a situation. Like, if that's the story leading in and all the basketball experts say, well, actually, this is the best team in the country, then they could be in the top 10.
But, like, does the name make you a Cinderella is what I'm saying. Like, Duke could never be Cinderella. Like, North Carolina could never be Cinderella. Even when Arkansas gets a really high seed, they can really, they were a 10 seed and made a run, and people didn't call them Cinderella.
Well, this was the thing with Butler. When we put out our top 10 list of the top 10 Cinderellas of all time, everyone was like, what about Butler? Those back-to-back years, they were a 7 seed in one of those.
Yeah, and a 5 in another.
They were a 5 seed and I think they were a 5 and a 7.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. Like, what happens if UNC Wilmington, some guy invented fruit roll-ups that went there, and is a bajillionaire? And he's like, you know what? Here's $30 million for NIL. Go buy a team. And UNC Wilmington pops in the NCAA tournament at like 31-2 and a 9 seed, and they beat Kentucky and then like make it all the way to the Elite Eight. People would be like, that's a Cinderella. No, it's not. Not in the way I want to see that happen just to see how it's handled. That's like the perfect scenario. People consider you Cinderella and you're rich. Like, I just want to see that go down. But that's just me. Great calls today.
Great calls.
All right. Now, we do have locks, leans, and dogs, but we also have our bets for tonight. And sometimes there's some carryover. All right, tonight, Nerfies. Well, one Nerfie. Actually, 2 Nerfies. I'm going Baltimore, Kansas City, no runs first inning, -125. And then the Brewers and the Reds, that should be a Nerfie, because if I could get that bet, either one of them on the money line at -130, that'd be amazing. That's a no runs first inning there. So that's what I got. It's Nerfie season, y'all.
All right, well, I'm piggybacking off the locks, leans, and dogs. So I'm going to take Dodgers money line -130 on the road against the Phillies, and then the Orioles money line -108. And the Orioles today are on the road in Kansas City against the Royals.
All right, pull them up, or pull them down. Whichever.
Easy, you can't do that anymore.
Give me Tampa Bay, the Rays, baby, money line. Own a couple dog bets today, +110. Give me Jake's favorite baseball team.
Second favorite team.
Cincinnati Reds, money line, +106.
Braves keep going on like this. We may have to revisit, though.
Worst team ever?
By the way, going to see the Braves-Reds May
16th.
No, May 8th. May 8th or 9th. All right, Ace, he's going to go Rangers money line at -130. Then Marlins money line, +205. Because why not? They're playing the Braves. Braves couldn't win an inter-squad game right now. So that's what we got for tonight. Before we get on out of here first, play the graphic because the under hit. Go ahead and play it for Poppy.
It did it, though.
It did.
Are we sure?
It did.
Under.
Because, look, I'm under.
Hold on.
All right, the Dragon will be back. David, are you fitting in a minute over there?
I got some
info.
do it?
All right, good.
Some news.
Well, we got a minute.
You boys tell me when to start.
All right, here we go. You got to fit the news in a minute. 3, 2, 1. Fit it in a minute.
The Arizona Cardinals have made Trey McBride the highest paid tight end in NFL history with a 4-year deal worth $76 million, $43 guaranteed, and an annual salary of $19 million. Prior to this, Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce was the highest paid at $17.1 million per year. Quarterback Geno Smith, who was traded to from the Seahawks to the Raiders this offseason, has signed a 2-year contract extension for $75 million with a potential to reach $85 million through incentives. Wide receivers Jamison Williams and running back Jahmyr Gibbs of the Detroit Lions have changed numbers for the upcoming NFL season. Gibbs is going from 26 to 0, Williams from 9 to 1, and like we talked about, the Atlanta Braves remain the only winless team in baseball at 0-7. After falling to the Dodgers in LA on Wednesday, Atlanta led for 7 innings against the defending World Series champs, gave up a walk-off home run to Shohei Ohtani in the bottom of the ninth on Shohei bobblehead night, propelling the Dodgers to an 8-0 start. For historical context, Jake, no team has ever reached the playoffs after opening 0-7.
God, you nailed that.
Wow, what a wrap.
Not till then.
What a wrap.
Until now.
Lock it in.
We're going to do it. I still believe in us.
All right, you ready to get to these donations?
Sure.
Let's do it. We're going to start with a $20 donation from the FF Fan 88. It's been watching y'all since the preseason. Best breakdowns on the tourney, hands down. Keep cooking, fellas.
Oh, we're staying in the kitchen, brother. Thank you.
Let's go to a $20 donation, another 20-piece. Appreciate it. From the PT viewer, you spoke the truth on that Colorado-Syracuse mess. The NCAA got to chill. Much love from Boulder.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, it's just dumb is dumb. And that's a great idea, and I've wanted to do this idea. We talked about it a million times on this show.
A $5 donation from I Am Mother. How we doing? I don't even like basketball, but my son watches y'all, and now I do too. Love the energy. Keep it up.
Wow. It's a family I can get behind. I'm a family guy.
All right, let's go to a $10 donation from the Junkie. He said, this channel got me through Selection Sunday and busted my bracket. Worth every penny.
Yeah.
God, I'm loving the vibe in the chat right now.
Let's go to a $5 donation from RG. What's up, man? Hashtag Smack Talk Friday. Braves fans lose money when they switch to Geico. Hashtag Go Phils.
Okay, that's a good one. I've never heard that one.
Let's go to a $5 donation from Kenneth. Appreciate it, Kenneth. Jake, I told you weeks ago Auburn would be here. And Flaming Dragon, I'm with you. Auburn wins it all. Jesus, Duke can't beat Auburn on a neutral site. Bet the rent.
Love the energy. I picked the Auburn to go to the Final Four. Flaming Dragon picked him to win the whole thing. I hope he is right. And sorry, David, I know you got Florida to win some money, but
hey, look,
I think we can all.
I might pay money to see this.
Oh, God.
I want to see this reaction.
Yeah. $7 donation from SEC and Chill. What's up? It says, found y'all during football season. Stay for the madness. This channel's a year-round must. Appreciate it, fellas.
Golly. Wait, God, and we have football coming up, too? Oh, I can't wait. Stick with this.
$20 donation from Q's. Appreciate it, Q's. Syracuse is holding their spring game next Saturday. Another reason I'm disappointed the NCAA denied Fran Brown and Deion was because they're going to be holding financial literacy sessions together would benefit both programs.
Yeah, but even if they weren't holding financial literacy sessions, it's a good idea. God.
Let's go to a $10 donation from BCC. Jake, I appreciate the concern you show me. Of course, when I was in the ER visit. It's a new ball game. When a paramedic tells you that you have to stop your heart, I said, you're going to what? Hashtag family. I hope you're all right, Stevie.
Yeah, Stevie, they can't hold you down, fam.
All right, last donation of the day, a $30 donation. Appreciate it from Bleeding Blue. Love the show, love the polls, even love the trolls in the comments. I like this community. Appreciate it, man.
It's a good look. We're building a monster, okay? Football, basketball, baseball, comedy, fencing. Oh, yeah. We got it all. Y'all just make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure after the video ends, apparently there's this thing on YouTube where you can say you're satisfied or non-satisfied. Be satisfied.
Be satisfied.
Be satisfied.
On our videos.
It's like Chick-fil-A. How may I pleasure you? Isn't that what they say?
No.
There's some place that says that. I don't know.
That was Madame Kamei's.
What Chick-fil-A's have you been going to?
That was a different. Food's still good at both places.
Yeah. You ever heard of Dumpies?
They didn't.
Dumpies?
Heard of Dumpies?
The people aren't ready. Listen, the next thing, wait till Dumpies takes over. Hooters struggling, Dumpies taking off. What did we say the song was? Welcome to Dumpies. We got your back.
Yeah, we came up with that at All Access.
Yeah, you check out Dumpies. We got a logo and everything.
You can smell what's cooking. It's Dumpies.
We didn't invent the chicken, just its backside.
You can smell what's cooking.
Did you just say you can smell what's cooking?
Welcome to Dumpies.
Okay, we need to get out of here.
Let's go.
All right, Final Four this weekend, and like the chances of me not enjoying every second of it, especially if Auburn, come on, can do it. We're going.
Oh,
no!
On a Friday?
Not on the last day.
On a Friday?
These lights, they're so low. Y'all
Florida
can see
money
me.
line.
Like, why don't we just have the lights
I'm not
in the
worried.
football
Florida
stadium?
I'm not worried.
money line.
We're gone. Get out. Have a good
I'm
weekend.
not worried.
Blaine.
Be satisfied.